What's going on, guys? So today's finally the day that we get the BBS wheels mounted on the F80. So here they are. I ended up getting a good deal on some acceleras. I don't know how you pronounce it, but we got 225, 35, 19 in the front, and we got 235, 35, 19 in the rear. I have some 10mm tub-centric spacers. This is a little more than I needed. I think the perfect size would have been around like 7mm, but I really couldn't find any, so I just went ahead and got these. I have the two other center caps, obviously, and just some generic cheap chrome lug bolts, because apparently titanium lug bolts cost like $1,000 now. And these are 40mm shank, I believe, so they're extended in order to compensate for the spacers. So now let's go ahead and air up the BMW and start moving the tires. Alright, so that should be enough. I'm gonna wait for my air compressor to fill up my tank, and then I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car out. Alright, so we got the car aired up, looking a little goofy. Give us plenty of room to work with. Apparently I was missing a lug bolt. I don't know where that went. But I already run ahead and broke all the bolts loose, so I'm gonna go ahead and jack up this side and remove the wheels and tires. Alright, so the front, it does stick out a bit past the fender, but the top of the air struts obviously do have camber plates, so I'll probably just throw a little bit of camber in it and it should be fine. Just because I really do need the spacer. I think I need at least 7mm to clear the brakes, and the rear sticks out a whole lot. So I'm gonna raise it back up. I'm gonna remove the spacer and see if the wheel sits without the spacer. And if it does, then we might be in good shape. If it doesn't, I'm probably gonna have to switch to a 5mm, and hopefully I don't, but I might have to end up buying either uppers or lower control arms to give it some camber. Alright, so I went ahead and removed the 10mm spacer from the rear, and it looks like I have barely enough room to clear this rear caliper. And I went ahead and aired it out some so the car can naturally camber. On the front, got a little bit of some poke, but like I said, the fronts do have camber top hats, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little bit of camber and it should be sitting fine. The rear actually came in a lot more than I thought it would, so there's barely enough camber that I need. Not too sure what I'm gonna do yet. I might just ride it like this for a while, because I'm gonna end up needing camber arms, and I believe they're around like 600 to 400 depending on the brand, just to give me that little bit of camber. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw some camber in the front and throw the wheels on the other side and then see how we're looking. Alright, so I had to go run and do something, so it's nighttime now, but I'm trying to finish this up today. So on the front, I went ahead and adjusted the camber to the next notch over, which is actually maxing it out as well, because I can't go any more. Even though it shows it on the camber plate, the bolts actually hit the end of the opening, so pretty much maxed them out. I'm assuming it's 1 degree, I don't know, but we pretty much got it there, friended the lip, so I didn't have a crazy stretch on the tires, so I can't actually sit the fender on the lip, but this is as close as I'm gonna get, which I'm pretty happy with. Here's the other side. Let's see if I can get it on the camera, even though it's pretty dark. Sits pretty good. It's almost to the ground. I got it at, you know, roughly 20 psi in the front. So the rears, like I said, I'm really trying not to buy, you know, upper and lower camber arms. So what I'm gonna do is there is a bolt on the lower control arm that controls that connects the lower control arm to the assembly of the wheel, and it has a washer around it with degrees on it, and basically you loosen that up and you turn it around, and that'll give you a negative and positive camber. I believe that's how they do it at a alignment shop when you're getting your alignment fixed. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this into the garage, so I'm gonna get this all out the way so I get some light, jack up the end, take the wheels off, and I'm gonna try to adjust it and see how much camber it actually does give me. All right, so we got the F80 in the garage. I took the wheel off. If you look down here, right here on the lower control arm, you'll see this bolt right here with this giant washer. So you go on the other side, you loosen up the bolt, and as you turn it, depending on what way you'll turn it, you'll see your camber on the rotor either go positive or negative. So I was able to turn it more and get a little bit more camber out of it. I have no idea if that's going to be enough. It might not, but it'll help out. So I'm going to do the same to the other side. It's fairly simple. So like I said, loosen this nut, turn the bolt. Once you get it to where you want it to sit, go ahead and tighten it back up. And I'm going to go ahead and do it to the other side, put the wheels back on, and see where we're sitting at. So here we go. In the back, that's pretty much as I can go without starting to, you know, crinkle the fender. And in the front, I can still go a little lower. I think my best bet is to roll this fender just slightly, and I think I'll be able to go all the way. And same for the front, just a real mild roll. just so that the tire isn't actually just pressing up against the fender, and I think I should be fine. One of the things that I noticed was that camber bolt, so it's gonna have a shim on one side and a shim on the other. On the passenger side, both sides were fine in between the bolt, but on this side, however, one side was fine and the other side was missing. So what I think happened is the previous owner adjusted that camber as well and just didn't tighten down the bolt tight enough, so he probably hit like a really hard bump, and being that the bolt was loose, it probably broke that shim off. And the bad thing about that shim is that it's actually part of the lower control arm, so in order to fix that you have to replace the whole control arm. But I just tightened it down as much as I could, and I think it should be fine. So we'll see how it holds up. Obviously it was holding the alignment well. I can see where the previous alignment was done and it was marked with a paint marker, and it didn't move, so it should be fine. But it's dark right now, it's nighttime, this light isn't doing this any good, but I'll get you guys a better video in daylight so you can see how it looks. So now we're in the daylight, so let me go ahead and give you guys an update on the fitment. Let me go ahead and explain this. So as you can see, I've been having a fun time trying to remove this old protective film. As you can see, it's all spider cracked and scratched really bad. So the previous owner left this on here way too long, and now I have to struggle to take this off. So if your car has a protective film on it and you don't know how long it's been on there, it's probably been too long. So go ahead and remove that. I do have it also on the carbon fiber, and since that's been on it too long, obviously it all has. But I'm gonna wait to remove this until I'm ready to re-clear this, just because I have seen videos of people that remove this from the carbon fiber roof, and when it's been on there too long, the clear coat actually transfers to the protective film itself, and I don't want to be in a worse situation than I am now. As for the fitment, if you guys remember, I did say I was probably gonna have to roll the fenders in order to get it to fit, but I just let the car sit out here and bake in this Texas heat. Went ahead and put tire shine on the tires, and every like 30 minutes or so I'd go ahead and lower it more and more psi and drop the car lower, and eventually it actually just went straight over the tires without me needing to roll anything. So the fitment is actually pretty damn perfect. So I think the rears I got it at 70 psi, and it pretty much sits on the lip. I could go lower if I want to, but I don't want to start baking in the fender if you know, it sits too low on the lip. And in the front, I'm able to go all the way lower. So on the presets, I have it preset to 10, and at 10 it sits perfectly right where the lip is at. But I don't know if, you know, this hits the wheel liner or something and then throws the management off, and then it raises it up to about 30. But if I switch it to manual, it does come all the way down. As far as the specs go, I'm not gonna go ahead and withhold the specs just like everybody else that I try to message when I was trying to build these wheels. So the fronts are 19 by 9. I don't know the offset, but it is 3.5 inch lip and a 5.5 inch barrel. The rears are 19 by 10 with 4 inch lips and 6 inch barrels. On the front, I have 225s, 35s, 19s, and on the rear I have 235s, 35s, 19s. It's not much of a stretch. It's not that bad. I guess you could go more aggressive if you want, but it's really not necessary. And in the front, I'm running a 10mm spacer. I was running one in the rear, but it stuck out way too far, so I took it off, and these specific faces barely clear this rear caliper, so that's how I'm running it. I did max out the rear camber bolts, and I maxed out the front camber on the top of the struts. The only thing that I do have to do now is I am gonna have to remove these and take them somewhere to get a balance, just because it rides like complete garbage. And don't be dumb like me, and don't forget to take out your TMPS, your tire pressure sensors, and put them on your new wheels before you mount the tires, because I was looking dumb when I turned on the car and then I seen that error code. So let me go ahead and give you guys a walk around. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm not gonna roll the fenders just because I don't need to. We did order a whole bunch of carbon parts, so now we're just playing the waiting game. We got a front lip, side skirt extensions, rear diffuser, that side fender vent, the mirror caps, a whole bunch of things in carbon fiber. So once those come in, I'll go ahead and upload those videos. But thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions on the fitment, just go ahead and drop a comment. I'll answer it. So I'll see you guys on the next one.